Welcome to Explore Tripoli. We are back on the road. It's a special today. We have in our midst a solo driver driving from United Kingdom all the way to Nigeria. She is special, and today she will share her experience with us. Who do we have in our midst?
My name is PELUMI Nubi. I'm a Lagos born and I grew up in London. And I'm currently doing a solo drive from London to Lagos, exploring and showcasing West Africa and just inviting more people to travel with me. So I'm so excited to be doing this.
Wow. Where did you get this inspiration from?
I have always loved traveling. I traveled when I was young and even more so in my adult years. I feel like traveling is an amazing way to learn more about people, about culture, about places. And I love to not just travel for myself, but also to allow other people travel with me in terms of showcasing my trips as well.
How long did it take you to plan this trip?
So this planning of the trip officially kicked off September 2022. So more than a year worth of planning went into this trip occurring, and I started in January 2024.
How many countries did you go through to get to Sierra Leone?
To get to Sierra Leone today, I was able to go through, I left the UK, went into France, went into Spain, then crossed into Morocco, and then from there to Mauritania, from Mauritania to Senegal, from Senegal to Gambia, from Gambia back to Senegal, and then to Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, and now I'm right here in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Did you use any other means of transportation or just your car?
Just the one. I've been solo driving from London to Lagos using the car right behind me, a Peugeot 107, and her name is called Lumi.
How has it been so far?
People are pleasantly surprised. The officers, checkpoint, they're always quite curious that, oh, you're doing this by yourself, you're solo, you're a female. So there's always that kind of like people being curious about what I'm doing. But I don't think I'm causing anything.
How long did it take you to get to Sierra Leone from the United Kingdom?
So far the trip has been about 6 weeks total. So it has not just been a drive. What I've been able to do is lucky enough be able to also explore the places I've been to meet people, meet the locals. Even right here in Freetown, I had a meet and greet where people that followed me online were able to meet me in real life. So that was super exciting to have the community show up like that.
At the border, what's the experience like since you are alone driving in your car?
Obviously, they want to make sure that you're not stealing the vehicle and the vehicle is yours. So they want it's called the V52 form from the UK that shows that this vehicle is mine and I'm the rightful owner. Obviously, they want the passport, making sure their passport has at least 6 months validity. If you need a visa, for me, I've been lucky enough to have a Nigerian passport, which allows me to also explore West Africa quite openly. So it's been quite smooth sailing going through the border controls.
What's the experience like crossing these borders?
I think once you have your documentation and stuff like that, I'm not trying to cross illegally. These borders are open and they're willing for people to come in. So as long as you have your right documentation, you speak to the officers, tell them what you're doing. A lot of the time, because I'm doing this expedition, they're quite open and more embracing, and they're able to understand me. For example, when I came into Freetown, my car is right-hand driving, and that has been banned for a few years. But because they understood the program and exactly what I needed to do, I had to get permission beforehand. So just, having this right documentation and not try to, go do something illegal is always free and accessible. And I think that's one of the messaging I'm trying to push out there, that traveling within Africa is possible. And a lot of people feel like it's not, but it is.
Were you asked about having a yellow card with you?
A yellow card?
Yes.
I haven't been asked a yellow card. I think what they wanted to know is, number one, like I said, proving that this vehicle is mine, making sure I have a valid passport, making sure I have a valid visa. Those were the 3 questions I've been asked. Sometimes insurance for the vehicle, they want to see that. And yeah, those are the most essential questions or documents that I've been asked for.
How has your car held up so far on the road? Any issues with your car?
So far, so good. We did lose a part, which is like the bracket of the tire. It got fixed. Lucky enough. Also, I was in traffic one time, and the truck went for my side mirror, but that has been fixed too as well. So I try to make sure that the car gets serviced. So like checking the oil, checking the water, checking the tire pressure before leaving any country. So that's a general checkup I do every time.
What are the challenges you were not even expecting?
Obviously, you miss home sometimes. You feel a bit lonely. You're doing this by yourself. It can be a bit overwhelming or stressful. I think those kind of the challenges I face. Obviously, sometimes safety and security, just making sure that I'm in the right place, the campsite, or wherever I choose to wild camp, because I still sleep in the car too as well. So this kind of situation, you can be a bit worrisome, especially when I was going through the land of no return, or the no man's land, sorry, which means that they had no governance, and I had to be super careful that I was safe in those regions.
What are the logistics you prepared before hitting the road?
There's a lot to go through. That's the reason why I took a year planning. It means I had to talk to other travelers that done the same route, logistic, like where I'm feeding, where I'm sleeping, is it safe, the sites I want to see, the path, the route, how long I'm driving, border controls, which border is better than the other. So a lot of thought went into planning this trip, but it's been incredible so far.
Every country you go to, you have good reception. How do you connect with people in these countries?
Absolutely. Social media is such a powerful tool, and I've been able to be so lucky to be able to leverage it. I started the journey with 12,000 followers on Instagram, and it's going to over 170,000 people. So a lot of people have got very interested, and they've been very kind, as humans are, to open their home to me sometimes, like where I am currently in Freetown is a host, someone that has been so kind to open their home. So having those, connections from old-time friends to fellow travelers, and just really enjoying the compassion and the kindness of humans.
I know you've seen a lot of beautiful places. You want to share with us?
Oh, the list is so endless. We can start from the Atlas Mountain up in Morocco to Mauritania, riding the Iron Ore train, just an immaculate experience, sleeping under the stars, to, having the beach to myself in St. Louis in Senegal, to just really enjoying the food and the culture in Gambia. And, it's just, I could go on for years. It's been amazing. And right here in Freetown itself, just having that warm embrace and people, welcoming me has been amazing.
Getting to Sierra Leone, you want to share with us the food?
We will not start any competition. But the war has been between Nigeria and Ghana in terms of their jollof rice. But tasting Senegalese, especially the Gambia jollof, I feel like we need to reevaluate that war. But I've tasted so many incredible and amazing food, even right here in Freetown. It's just been so nice to try different flavor, different taste, different kind of cultural immersive experiences. Has been tremendous.
How has your experience been leaving the UK with a right-hand car and coming to a left-hand drive country?
It takes a lot of practice, right from, I think in the UK, that's the only time I drove on the left side. Right from when I crossed into France, Spain, all over these countries, I've been driving on the right hand side. And the brain is such a beautiful thing, whereby over time, with practice, you get better and better. So it just takes practice in order to know that, and sometimes I get a mistake, I go on the wrong lane and I quickly correct myself. So I have to keep reminding myself, stay on the right, stay on the right, stay on the right. But yeah, that's part of the trail, I guess, of the trip.
How many days do you spend in a country before leaving for the other country?
It really depends on, if I know a lot of people, if they have a lot of activities. I've spent, as little as 48 hours to as much as 1 week. So it really varies and depends. I was meant to leave today for Sierra Leone, but I extended for an extra day because I'm having such a good time out here. So I like to have flexibility with my trip. They're not like, you have to leave by this. It just allows for that freedom to travel. So it's pretty fluid based on the experiences I have.
Have you ever slept on the road?
Yes, I've slept at the border, I've slept in random streets, I've slept on campsites, I've slept in random places. And that's why I converted the car to allow me that flexibility that if, I don't like driving late at night, so I try to, do all my driving early in the morning before sunset. So if I feel like it's better for me to pack and sleep and then start the journey the next day, I do that, absolutely. But I make sure it's a safe spot and make sure that, it's not just a random location.
Any other plan after this adventure you're on right now?
Oh yes, I will never stop traveling. I've been traveling for so many years. Sierra Leone is my 85th country, so I've been traveling for a very, very long time, and I'll keep on exploring. It might be by road, by air, by water. The adventure continues. Absolutely.
Is this your first time traveling on a solo trip by road?
No, I've done quite a few, not from the UK. This is my biggest in terms of like crossing multiple countries. Previously, I've done Lagos to Ghana twice. I've also done Namibia, where I drove 4,000 kilometers solo across the country. And last year, I did London to Lake Como in Italy. So I've done a lot of practice, and that's why I tell people, before you take on big adventures like this, it's quite worthy to do smaller adventures in order to get that practice in as well.
The distance you cover before getting to another country, like hours, days driving continuously?
So when it comes to distance of driving, the joy of it is that I'm able to control how many hours. Some days I've driven for 12, 14 hours. Other days I've driven just 2 hours. So really, it's not the distance of one country to the other, but how much strength I have in a day, how much, distance I'm willing to cover. But yeah, I think the Sahara Desert was probably the longest drive days of this whole trip.
Have you driven for like 24, 48 hours straight?
I drive every day, so 5 hours is my average time of driving. Some days I have rest days where I don't drive at all. But again, safety is important. When I'm tired, I rest. So I just listen to my body to when exactly I need those breaks.
So, after a long journey, how do you recharge? Preparing yourself for the next adventure, the next country?
Sleep. Sleep is the best way to relax and rest, catch up with loved ones, speak on the phone to the people that I care about the most, engage with my community on social media can be very refilling and repurposeful. But yeah, just sleep it out. Once you sleep, you wake up, you feel fresh. You keep on going on the journey.
I believe you have medical kits with you, right?
Yes, I have like my medical care. I have, first aid for the car too as well, in terms of like spare tires, safety things to make sure in case I have like a breakdown, something like that. But yeah, there's a whole medical kit in the car too as well for my safety. Hopefully I don't have to use it. So far I haven't had to use it. But yeah, it's important to have it there.
This journey, where is the end point?
So I'm going home. This journey has been from one home to another home. So I was, like I said, grew up in London and I was born in Lagos. So I'm heading to Lagos, Nigeria, and hopefully before the end of March, I should arrive home safely.
Leaving Sierra Leone, which country is next?
So Liberia is next. So I'll be hoping to hit the road tomorrow to Liberia, and then Cote d'Ivoire, and then Ghana, Togo, Benin, and hopefully in my hometown, Lagos, Nigeria.
As a woman doing this, what's the feeling like?
It feels empowering. It feels like I could do anything, and that's kind of the message I want to really push out there, that if you ever considered London to Lagos by road impossible and you see me doing it, maybe the audience or whoever is watching is able to reconsider what they think to be impossible. So really just empowering other women. We are told we cannot, we are told that it's impossible, it's not safe for us, but seeing someone else do it, the representation is very important, and that's really what I'm pushing out there, that impossible is really what you make of it, and just go out of your comfort zone, do the brave things, because it's very rewarding.
Any advice for someone wanting to do the same?
I say, you don't have to do it the way I've done it. I think, I use travel as the model of, showing people what they consider impossible and pushing past that. What I really want people to do is to look at the things that they want to do. Is this drive what you want to do? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to do something big or audacious and you've been keeping it aside? Hopefully by seeing me, you're able to do it. But if you want to do this drive, lots of practice will help. It's lots of speaking to other people that have done similar things so you can learn from their experience. I've been very transparent on my social media platform. On Instagram, it's PELUMI.NUBI. You can watch all my videos. I share tips, all of that. But really, the first thing is deciding that you want to do it. The mind is very powerful. When you've decided, then you can start the process slowly but surely.
What's your parting message for us?
Do it scared. The magic is in the doing. I think, a lot of people want to do a lot of things, but they are scared of what people will think, what people will say. I think life is incredibly short and you just have to take the adventure. Africa as a whole is a beautiful continent to explore. It's an absolute joy and an honor to be able to do this, to represent women in such a brave adventure. And yeah, I'm super excited to keep going, and I cannot wait to be home, to be welcomed by loved ones and my tribe.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome.